This is Yuji Igarashi from Fujifilm. Today, I am in Stockholm, Sweden. In Stockholm, there is a great photography, art and culture museum called Fotografiska. We will be presenting X Summit from here today.
Hello everybody and welcome to Stockholm, Sweden. My name is Knut Koivisto and I'm an ex-photographer stationed here in Stockholm. We are very honored that you have chosen Fotografiska for your X Summits. Fotografiska, which actually means the place for photography in Sweden, is the largest venue entirely for photography in the world. It opened in 2010 and since then it has grown to numerous Fotografiska around the world. We have places in New York and in Tallinn, and as we speak, we're also opening a place in Berlin.
Hi.
Hi, Jody. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah?
I wish we had a Fotografiska in Tokyo as well.
I think that would be very cool, don't you think so?
Totally.
Yeah. I have some very exciting things to show inside. Shall we go inside?
Yeah, let's go.
So, this is my project here at Fotografiska. The Fotografiska Wall of Fame. Since the beginning, I take portraits of the photographers coming here and exhibiting. So,
yeah, this is so impressive. Why are those images all in black and white?
yeah, that's a good question. It's because when you do it over a long time, it will have a continuity because it's black and white, so you don't know when the picture is taken.
Right.
Had it been in color, there'd been much more difference between the pictures.
Makes sense.
So can you imagine that all the pictures you see here are shot on Fujifilm cameras, from all the X series cameras up to the GFX? So
That is so impressive.
thank you.
So all the visitors will be seeing the images shot on X and GFX.
Yeah.
So this is really a perfect venue for the X Summit.
Shall we start it?
Let's get started. So X Summit Stockholm 2023 is about to begin. Okay, we have a wonderful location today. Today's main theme is here. We're delivering the news for GFX system today. First, let us remind you what the GFX system is. In a simple formula, the GFX50S was released in 2017. At that time, probably many people recognized the system as follows. GFX equals image quality. From commercial photographers to fine art professionals, people who need high image quality and bought into our system then would probably agree. GFX has set a new bar for image quality.
やっぱりセンサーがでかいとその空気感もあって全体映し出せる立体感っていうのは GFX 使っててよかったなっていうところすごいありますね。GFX の広いラチチュードがこのプリントをする時の階調をすごい引っ張り出せるっていうのはありますね。黒の中の黒とかハイライトの寸前のハイライトまでとかそういうところをすごい繊細にデータをちゃんと残していただいているので、そうですね GFX がないとこの作品は撮れないですね。
Then in 2019, the image quality was further improved with the GFX100. It's simple to say megapixel has doubled from 50 megapixels to 102 megapixels. But that was not all what the GFX100 achieved. GFX100 added one more important factor to the GFX formula. That is, GFX equals image quality plus IBIS. The ultra-high image quality of GFX is kind of a double-edged sword. You need to shoot with extreme care. IBIS completely unleashes the potential of shooting at 102 megapixels. That is what the GFX100 achieved. It expanded the field of ultra-high image quality.
One of the features that really stood out to me is how improved the stabilization is, the IBIS. It was not long ago where medium format was just limited to basically only stay on a tripod. But now I feel more confident than ever to pick the camera up, work handheld, and if it's cars, people, whatever, a lot of motion, this stabilization makes me so much more confident as a photographer, where I can be more creative on set. I can work more freely, shooting weird angles, and still be confident that I get my shot. And it's because of features like that why I love working with GFX.
Within the GFX formula, we do not just add, but we also subtract. In 2021, we launched the GFX100S and GFX50S2. They both have a solid and compact body design with mere 900 grams. Now, with a compact design, the formula has changed to GFX equals image quality plus IBIS minus volume.
このプロジェクトを立ち上げた段階から GFX を使い続けています。ヘリコプターだったりとか犬ぞりだったりとか、一般的な交通手段じゃないものを使用していくことが多いんですけれど、そうなった時にやっぱり持っていける荷物ってかなり限られる。そうなった時にもう本当に信頼できるカメラしか持っていけないっていう状況が必然と出てきてしまうんですね。カメラは小さいということはすごく大事。ミディアムフォーマット、ラージフォーマットで機動性がいい。これ以外ありえないと今思っています。
Okay, we are still missing an important factor to the GFX formula. It is multiplier. In 2023, the GFX formula will look like this. GFX equals image quality plus IBIS minus volume times speed. Yes, the GFX gets the weapon of speed. There is no more excuse, like the image quality is great, but the response is a bit slow. No matter what the subject or the situation is, the new generation GFX is your first choice. Now, it's time to show you the answer to the new GFX formula. 102 megapixels image quality plus advanced IBIS minus volume times the speed. The answer is GFX100 II.
Is there any value to the word genuine? It is as pure and beautiful as the original, with boundless feelings and obsessions. We arrive at the place our predecessors strived for. Is there any meaning in the word art? The light spins illusions, magic made real through glass. With boundless temptations and passion, we capture the moment. as instinct dictates. Is there any future to the word dream? We face forward to soar among the clouds. With boundless effort and time, we challenge the now, raising tomorrow even higher.
Hello everyone, I'm Makoto Ishii, product planner of GFX camera system. The development concept of the new generation GFX was to add the agility of the X in GFX body. So, it is a high-speed GFX because speed is necessary for all of the camera's performance. Yes, we have developed new GFX sensor called GFX100 II megapixel CMOS 2HS. This is a key for the high-speed GFX. The reader circuit has been speeded up to achieve over twice faster speed than previous model. AD conversion is performed in the top and bottom areas. This processing time has been reduced by half. In addition, the various memory has also been maximized to support the high-speed readout of the sensor. It means like the entire system has been speeded up totally. For example, the buffer memory has been doubled from 64 gigabit to 128 gigabit. Moreover, we have X processor 5, which realizes high-speed processing. The combination of the sensor, memory, and processor is what makes the GFX system so high-speed. The specs achieved by these technologies are high-speed continuous shooting up to 8 frames per second. In addition, faster autofocus speed because the face detection pixels on sensor readout will be faster. The processor's calculation speed also must be faster. The photographer can experience the fast autofocus with these changes in a variety of situations.
In 2021, I tried out the GFX100S, and even though it had its limitations, I was very eager to shoot basketball again with the GFX camera. And now with the new GFX100 II, I'm happy to report that GFX system is finally ready for action. Sports is never easy to shoot. You have to make compromises between the image quality and the speed and reliability of the cameras. With the new GFX100 II, it seems that I don't have to make any compromises anymore. It's fast, the autofocus is reliable, and the image quality is even better than before. So I have had so much fun shooting with GFX here on the courts of New York and LA. I have so many fabulous photos I could print as big as I want. With the new autofocus system, 8 frames per second, configurable buttons and configurable autofocus mode. And I can honestly say that I could use this camera for my professional work shooting sports.
Actually, it sounds like surprising information. The speed also enhances the IBIS. GFX100 II has an 8-stop IBIS. This great result comes from a combination of the sensor high-speed readout and new motion blur detection technology. In the past, we have made full use of gyro sensors to detect motion blur only, but the new GFX system also utilizes the image information coming from the image sensor as well as the gyro sensor. In other words, the new GFX system uses information from both the image sensor and the motion sensor.
Speed isn't just for stills, it's applicable for video too. Hi, I'm Ludwig from Fujifilm Nordic, here in Stockholm. I will walk you through the video performance of the GFX100 II. The faster readout sensor and the faster processing power also enhances the video shooting performance. This powerful combination makes this possible to optimize the processing system for many formats and codecs. As you can see, the GFX100 II can shoot Full HD 120p, 4K 60p and 8K 30p movies. In large format 4K, which maximizes the image circle, and in dot by dot 8K, which takes full advantage of the resolution. Full HD high-speed 120p, which are used in movies, can also be shot. The GFX100 II will also support various formats and codecs, such as ProRes, H.264, H.265, and Blackmagic RAW and ProRes RAW via the full-size HDMI. You can also choose between formats from GF, Premista, 35mm and 35mm anamorphic, as we are shooting on right now. As you can see, the format is more cinematic. For movie shooting, the requirements varies from different productions. And GFX100 II has the potential to meet those expectations. So in the world of cinematography, the 44x33 sensor is actually called large format and not medium format. The benefit of large format video is image quality and expression, especially excellent signal to noise and rich dynamic range. The CMOS 2HS can capture more than 30% lights. It improved signal to noise and D range with lower ISO. This is shot in F-Log2 in ISO 800, which delivers excellent dynamic range. It realizes up to 14+ dynamic range, with the possibility of capturing this entire scene thoroughly and get a rich, high-density file. That's why large format cinematography is something special. And another benefit of shooting movies in large format is that you have even more lenses to choose between, including cinema lenses. For example, you can use the Fujinon large format Premista lenses, and actually even anamorphic lenses. It is truly special that such lenses can be used in this type of camera with D-squeeze live view options from 1/3 times to 2 times. So with me today I have Swedish cinematographer Josef Eriksson.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining. So you've been able to try this camera out for a while. What's your biggest impressions of using this camera?
Yeah, I've tried it out for a while and with different lenses. So I tried, having this large format and being able to adapt basically anything. And it's really been opening up for creativity. And so you can go for the full-on cinema lenses, the anamorphics, and you can shoot with the vintage lenses that you already have, or the great GF lenses. You have the image, you have the sensor, you have the camera, so just adapting whatever lens you
want
feel
to
like.
try, basically. Yeah. So, and also it's a really small and lightweight camera actually for having all these capabilities. So it's really easy to maybe rig it or having as a B cam or a crash cam even, right?
Definitely. As we have it here, it's a big chunky camera, but you can also strip it down and have it super small and still the same beautiful image with the smaller lenses, and being able to do that as well is amazing.
Yeah.
So we shot a project with this setup actually. So it's the Cooke anamorphic 1.8 squeeze lenses.
Full frame lens, right?
Full frame lens, exactly. And we shot a project about an artist. She's a painter, and about the creative process, like starting with a blank canvas. And many people, I think, can relate to those thoughts that you get when you have endless possibilities. I think there's no compromise in the image quality. It's all you need. It looks amazing. It's easy to grade. You can push and pull it how you want. and it's a great starting point. Like putting this in the computer and just watching it with a Rec 709 LUT, it's a awful great start, and then just small tweaks to get it where you want it.
And you shot it in F-Log2 mostly, right?
Yeah, I think everything shot in F-Log2. It's a great format to work with.
Yeah. And what about formats and codecs, like having ProRes internal? Is that a big thing for you?
Definitely. ProRes is something I'm very used to, and having it internally without a recorder or anything, and just being able to pull those fast cards and plug it in, and being able to fire away straight away is great.
Yeah. And also now you have the possibility to record it directly from an SSD disk, for example, also. Yeah. So also it's super easy now to just plug it in, record, and then transfer directly to your computer. So the workflow is much easier. And as we're doing right now, we're also recording to Frame.io, which also backs up directly, for example. So the workflow is a lot easier now than before also. So that's quite cool. Yeah.
So this really opens up for new possibilities for filmmaking.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Thank you, Ludwig and Joseph. You are absolutely right. The movie shooting performance is enhanced. In addition, the EVF performance is also improved because the readout speed is faster in live view mode. Also, the viewfinder is completely new, both in display panel and lenses. It must be the best EVF ever in the history of Fujifilm. I can say the magnification ratio is 1.0 times. The resolution is over 9 million dots. With these combinations, you can see lagless beautiful images through the viewfinder at 60 frames per second with 1.0 times in standard mode and 120 frames per second 0.77 times in high-speed mode.
Thank you, Makoto. The GFX100 II has so many things inside. Now, I would like to touch on the product design. I will connect with Mr. Kamei, a product designer of GFX100 II, who is now at the Design Center building in Tokyo called Clay Studio.
こんにちは。プロダクトデザイナーの亀井です。まず全体フォルムは GFX や X シーズらしい平面基調のデザインをベースにエルゴノミック要素を融合させることで最上域にふさわしい新たな機能美を目指しました。例えばグリップ上部をラウンドさせることでホールドした際に自然と指がレイズボタンにかかるようにアクセス性を向上しています。プロの道具としての実用性を追求した結果です。また最もアクセスしやすい位置にカスタム可能な3連のファンクションボタンを配置し割り当てた機能を素早く生み出すことができます。実用性へのこだわりは他にもあります。撮影をサポートするサブ液晶を大型化、さらに GUI も一新しました。静止画、動画問わず一目で撮影条件が確認できます。さらに、皆さんお気づきでしょうか。この天面部分はですね、手前に11度傾いています。EVF を除きながら最小限の視線移動でサブ液晶を確認することができます。この傾きはテストいただいたプロの方々にも非常に好評です。そしてフラッグシップ機としてディティールの仕上げにもこだわりました。本体全周には新規開発した毘沙門テックスという名前の当社独自の革絞パターンを配置。日本の伝統的な和柄にインスピレーションを受けた三ツ矢状のパターンはカメラを保持した際のさまざまな方向へのグリップ性を向上させます。軍艦の色にも意味があります。フラッグシップにふさわしい金属の鋳物のような強い存在感を目指しました。工程を工夫することで表面の凹凸感を出しながら傷つきにくい耐久性とデザイン性を両立させたマテリアルを実現させました。GFX シリーズの新たなフラッグシップ機としてふさわしいデザイン。今回はこれを実現できたと思います。撮影現場でこのカメラを使っていただき、さまざまなこだわりを実感いただけると嬉しいです。
Flagship model is not only perfect cameras, but it's also important to have a good enough options to accommodate various types of photography. So, system compatibility is also important. For example, Here is an tilting EVF adapter. It is designed to use the viewfinder at low angles and at waist level. It is not only for flowers or nature photography, but also for portraits. Some people prefer to use it because it doesn't give pressures to those subjects. To support a long-time video shooting, you can use a battery grip and an external fan. I believe this makes you relieve it. Additionally, the terminals for connecting various external devices are also important. Full-size HDMI port and 3.5mm microphone and headphone jacks. Of course, it has both SD and CF Express slots, and an Ethernet terminal is also equipped. Data can be uploaded directly from the body to the internet. In the world of high-end video solutions, it is getting common by using cloud system. Recently, X82S and X82 support direct upload to Frame.io, which is a cloud collaboration platform. The GFX100 II is the third model to follow. We also have another new solution to be introduced. Nowadays, I know many of you use Capture One software for raw development and tethering on your PC. And at last, the new Capture One app for iPad and iPhone allows you to do the tether shooting or raw development with our film simulation for both wired and wireless shooting. This new app will expand the capability of shooting and post-production with GFX and X cameras. And more, as a film manufacturer, we, Fujifilm, must offer new color reproduction with film look. This time, I'm pleased to introduce a new film simulation developed with the GFX100 II. It is Liara S.
こちらは足柄研究所の資料室ですが、富士フィルムのフィルム開発の画質設計の歴史そのものと言って良いと思います。この辺りがリアルの開発資料ですね。これらの資料を紐解いて、表面的な表現だけでなく設計思想をつかみ取る。そしてプリントやネガを見ながら画質の合わせ込みをしていきます。リアラが開発されたのは30年以上前ですが、その設計思想は現在の映像表現にも通じるものであったということです。
この足柄研究所でリアラを含め多くのフィルムを開発してきました。リアラは人の目が最も心地よく感じる表現を追求したフィルムです。我々富士フィルムが長年の研究の末に到達した真理の一つに、人の目は調子の連続性に心地よさを感じているというのがあります。自然なグラデーションに豊かな情報を感じているとも言えるでしょう。銀塩フィルムで使われているハロゲン化銀粒子そのものは、光に対しては感光反応をするか否かしかありません。ミクロで見ると非常にデジタルなのです。しかし、ハロゲン化銀粒子のサイズ、配置は非常にランダムです。2つとして同じものはありません。そして規則的にも並んでいません。それがマクロで見ると連続的な変化、すなわち階調を生む構造になっています。一方、デジタルカメラに使われている CMOS センサーは AD コンバーターを介してデジタル信号化していますが、入力の最初期はアナログ信号として受講しているのです。実はフィルムはデジタルで CMOS はアナログでもあるのです。どちらがいいというわけではなく、どちらも同じ人の目には心地よいという目標に向かうことができるのだと思います。
豊かな階調表現へのアプローチとして GFX100 II に搭載された新センサーはうってつけでした。このセンサーなくしてデジタルリアラの設計はなかったとも言えます。世界最高峰100メガピクセルという解像度は銀塩フィルムで言うならば卓越した流浄性につながります。そして100メガピクセルの解像度を保ちながら高 SN 化と高ダイナミックレンジ化を果たしました。銀塩フィルムでいうのなら さまざまな大きさのハロゲン化銀を持つことと同意で、よりきめ細やかな階調変化、よりラティチュードの広い表現ができます。スペックでいうと、新センサーの飽和信号量は 30% も向上。16ビットの AD 変化により GFX 最高の階調性を実現しています。GFX、しかも GFX100 II のようなフラッグシップならば、どんな被写体が来ても一発でプロクオリティの絵を見せる必要があります。それこそがリアラであり、初搭載モデルは GFX100 II であるべきなのです。
The GFX100 II has more new functions. International Press Telecommunications Council metadata. This is a new function to create metadata, commonly known as IPTC. This is an essential feature for professional photographers, such as press and news reporters.
Hi, Makoto. Can I just add one more information? I would like to share a very exciting news on press photography. Press photography has always occupied an important position within the history of both camera and photography. The requests from the field of press photography has led the evolution in cameras and equipments. This is why Fujifilm decided to incorporate IPTC into GFX100 II. Fujifilm is not only a camera manufacturer, but also a photographic company. We would like to do more than manufacturing cameras. Therefore, Fujifilm has decided to support press photography industry itself.
Hi everyone at the X Summit. My name is Jumana Al-Zain Khoudia and I'm the Executive Director of World Press Photo. We are a global platform connecting photojournalists and documentary photographers, as well as our global audiences, with trustworthy stories. Since our World Press Photo Foundation was founded in 1955, our annual photo contest has grown into one of the world's most prestigious competitions, rewarding the best photojournalists and documentary photographers throughout the world. And through our worldwide exhibitions, we present to millions of people the stories that matter. We are so excited that World Press Photo and Fujifilm will work closely together as of 2024. It is an honor for us to partner with this leader in the photography industry. Our exhibitions are traveling to more than 70 cities around the world this year. So make sure that we meet you and see you there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jumana. Of course, we believe every photography genre is equally important, and Fujifilm will continue to support the photo industry as well as manufacture cameras. Now that we have covered the overview of GFX100 II, I want to ask two guests to let us know their impression on the camera. Let me introduce Cooper and Gorfer.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thanks for coming today. So, could you introduce yourselves, please?
Yeah, sure. We are an artist duo, Cooper and Gorfer, and we have collaborated for the past 18 years. We have met back in art school together, and we started off our collaboration as friends, actually. And we came from quite different backgrounds, Sarah and I. But photography has always been our common denominator.
That's interesting. Could you tell us a little bit more about what you're working on right now?
Well, we work project-based, and we're in the middle of a trilogy. So we've done a first chapter. We're literally in the middle of the second chapter. But basically, it's a project that's stemming from this idea under this theme of hysteria. And hysteria is a word that has a lot of connotations, especially for women. And it's basically looking into sort of re-examining the connotation of hysteria. And so as a result, we're creating a dynasty of women that is both based on reality and this collection of a library of bodies that we're sort of collecting. and also going into mixed media work, so three-dimensional pieces.
Yeah, and also I think how can you, like what Sarah just said, you know, we have this idea in our heads, and how do we actually then create and put that into an image? And for us, like the process is not just the photograph, but it starts with, you know, a preparation, collecting materials. Then we would print it, build huge sets and props out of those photographs that we would then on set, you know, use in the actual photo shoot. And after we have done this, we will take this image and then disassemble it again and reassemble it. And things like that, where we try to push it, work a lot with collage, work a lot with different scales later on, and different kind of scales of printing it and rephotographing it.
Seems like a very complex process you have to go through. And how would you pick like a camera, for example, as a tool? What's important for you?
Well, I mean, what's wonderful with your camera, specifically with GFX 100 II, it's the medium format. I mean, it's extremely, you know, lightweight. But then, you know, what you're getting with it is this incredible detail, and you know, it's so important with the three-dimensionality of our work. And I think to be able to capture three-dimension in two-dimension is without it, we won't have the work that we do. We need this excellence, and we need it to be an enabler for us. And it has to be sort of an extension of our ideas. So for us, medium format is key.
Do you have any feature you would like to try with this camera, which you haven't tried yet?
Yes, we do. So we had mentioned that we do mixed media collage. So we're both doing in-camera kind of fragmented collaged images, but we're also doing these physical three-dimensional collages that deal with stitching and painting and sort of different materials and textures, along with printed photography. To get the detail of photographing a collage like that, we know about this pixel shift. And that is apparently like an incredible way to capture detail.
Makoto, maybe you can explain about the pixel shift?
Pixel shift actually works with our IBIS system. It makes like 16 images. It makes, like, as a result, you can get 400 megapixel, totally full color, and the resolution perfectly. That's our technology.
That we're very excited about that, because I think to get that level, I mean, in the past we've had to stitch it together to get the perfect quality. Otherwise, you're using these insane scanners, and that's quite to know that can compete with that is really exciting.
So we'll be looking forward to many more projects, and hopefully we can try to continue to support you.
Thank you very much.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, since this year is the GFX year, I would like to share with you some news from G-mount lenses. It is a lens which product development announcement was made 2 Summits ago. It is the GF55mmF1.7. As many of GFX users are fond of portraiture, the GF80mmF1.7, launched in 2021, is very popular among GFX users. This GF55mmF1.7 should be a duo with that lens. With a large aperture of f1.7, beautiful bokeh and three-dimensional effect of G format, combined with a versatile angle of view at 44mm equivalent in 35mm format, it is a must-have new standard lens, not only for portrait photography, but for everyone. However, we cannot describe the true value of this lens only from aperture and focal length. This is because the biggest feature of this lens is superb image quality. Please look at this lens construction. By utilizing two ED lenses and two aspherical lenses in the optical construction, we realized the coexistence of sharpness and the beautiful bokeh. We especially designed the bokeh expression with extreme care. We know outstanding bokeh is expected by our users as a result of large aperture lens and large format camera, which is quite difficult for other camera systems to achieve. For the beautiful clean bokeh, we used the aspherical lens manufactured with ultra precision, resulting in the reduction of axial chromatic aberration and onion ring effect. It is the first GF lens to feature 11 diaphragm blades for a near-perfect circular aperture. We cannot say this is new standard lens just from aperture, angle of view, and image quality. It has to come with quick response, in other words, better autofocus performance. We chose a powerful but near-silent, vibration-free DC motor to drive the focusing lens group, 8 elements, and aperture unit. Also, the use of a bearing mechanism has successfully reduced friction for smooth focusing.
Hi everybody, my name is Anushka Menon and I'm a fashion and beauty photographer based in India. Today I'm going to be shooting with the new 55mm1.7. I'm really looking forward to shooting with this lens. I've been waiting for a lens like this to come out, especially with this shallow depth and aperture. I'm looking forward to shooting the portraits that I have planned. Okay, so keep it really soft and really romantic. Nice. Nice, that's really nice. Nice. Can you come a little bit more frontal? Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Okay. So let's see what we got with Capture One. Okay, so we're using the new Capture One for the mobile, and obviously we're using it on the iPad today. And I'm just going to do a few adjustments just to see exactly how I like my skin tone and my contrast, remembering that we're sort of like trying to get a very ethereal, romantic feel to the image. Yeah, I absolutely love the sort of sharpness, and you can very accurately like focus on what you want, and everything else is out of focus, which is so beautiful because the fall off of the focus is quite perfect. If you can see here, like I have just her face in focus. Obviously, the whole background is beautifully blurred out. And when I get closer to images like this, I can literally just have one eye in focus. Very cute, very nice. Done. You may change.
Way.
I've absolutely enjoyed shooting with the 55mm today. Ranging from the sort of 1.7 f-stop that it has to around 2.2, depending on how much I wanted in focus and how much I wanted out of focus. Yeah, I'm admiring the images. Everything looks really beautiful, kind of how I envisioned it to look. Of course, the 55 is the new standard. So what I love about this lens is that you can zoom in and you can capture immaculate details of your subject, all while sort of maintaining the perfect balance of highlights and shadows. As you can see here, even though it looks a little burnt out, it's so soft and beautiful. It doesn't take away from the image, which is really lovely. Also, I would like to just sort of add in comparison to the 80mm or the 110, which I also have in my kit, I feel like in comparison to the GF80 and the GF110, each lens obviously has its own qualities and capabilities. And I use the 80 as well a lot for portraiture and fashion, and I use the 110 for a lot of beauty. But I also just love the way the 55 captures close-ups and the details.
Thank you, Anushka. You made it very easy to understand. Portraits are one of GFX's specialties. I think this lens can be used in other areas, especially when combined with the GFX100 II. There could be new possibilities. Let's ask Annika what else you can do with GF55mm f1.7.
Thanks, Juji. I'm Annika from Fujifilm Nordic. The GFX100 II, together with the GF55mm lens, is a perfect combination for street photography and documentary. I'm here in one of Europe's best preserved city centers, in the Old Town in Stockholm, where you can visit both the Royal Castle and the Nobel Prize Museum. With me, I have Nora Lorek, a documentary photographer based in Gothenburg, but involved in many projects all over the world.
Thank you so much, Annika. I've been lucky to work with this kit on many different assignments this year. Just a couple of months back, I was in Uganda, working in everything from dark nights to the rainy season. So It's been amazing to work with a 55mm lens in those conditions. And just a couple of weeks back, I was working in a festival now in Gothenburg with the rain pouring down on the lens. So it's been amazing to see the different conditions in which this kit is working. So I would love to try it out now on the streets of Stockholm. So maybe let's try and have a look.
Yes, of course.
Let's walk. There's so many German streets here. This window is really nice. Well, I got my first Fuji, the X100 while I was studying. Back then I started photographing pretty much everything around me on the streets. I mean, fountains like this over here. Yeah, it's amazing what has happened since then, going over from the X100 to now the GFX. So much has changed since then, going to the 55mm now, doing these amazing portraits. I'd definitely say the different varieties of assignments I can do now.
Yeah.
Everything from news assignments to making exhibitions, because I can make these huge prints.
Yeah, because
and beautiful portraits. Yeah, it's been amazing to see the different variety of stories I can produce with a camera like the GFX. Hi. It's nice to see you reading a book. I was just taking some pictures of you because it looked so nice of you just sitting to read them. I hope it's okay with you.
Yeah, it's okay for me.
Okay, great. You want to see some?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you take? Nice. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Have a good day. Bye. Hi there. Hi. My name's Nora. I'm a photographer. Hi. Would you mind if I take some pictures of you and your dog?
No.
Yeah? What's his name?
Bob.
Hi, Bob. You're so sweet. Hey, my friend. You sit there. You just stay there. Aw, look at them.
It's nice there in the sun.
Such a beautiful poser. Just be patient and wait for Bob. He's gonna be fine. Can you just look at me? Yeah? Bob doesn't care about me. Okay, thanks so much.
Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Bob. See ya.
So for you, what makes the GF55mm a good street photography lens?
With the focal length and the amazing aperture, it's really perfect for me for everything from everyday life situations to street photography, like here in Gamla stan in Stockholm. I love working with the new GFX medium format because it's great to carry it around as my new normal camera. because no matter where I have it, I can always use the images for my normal stories and reportages for magazines, or print them as huge exhibition prints.
I was really enjoying our little walk with the photography and everything. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Nora. Thanks, Annika. Not only portraits, but snaps are also very nice. I'm sure there are many more uses. Well, everyone, actually, I have brought 2 more lenses for the GFX today. GF30mm f5.6 tilt shift and GF110mm f5.6 tilt shift. I'm happy to officially introduce both lenses. Carl will explain more details on these lenses.
Thanks, Judy. I'm Carl from Fujifilm Nordic. I'm going to explain more about these new tilt shift lenses which are designed for G-mount. The concept of these lenses is perfect design tilt shift lenses for G-mount. In other words, they have unique functions with high image quality that third-party tilt shift lenses are not able to achieve. First, quality. To be honest, you can't realize the full potential of GFX when you use an adapter and tilt shift lenses made for full-frame cameras. They cannot resolve the pixel pitch of GFX cameras. However, these are different. They can capture 102 megapixel from edge to edge thanks to newly developed optical units dedicated to these lenses. What amazed us is that they still maintain the wider image circle for GFX cameras. This is why these lenses have a greater shift range up to 15 mm. These are the unique functions and operations that these 2 tilt shift lenses can realize. Since they're designed for G-mount, you don't need a mount adapter. The lens can communicate directly with the camera body. Thanks to this, we could add this function. The camera displays both the shift amount and the rotation angle of the lens. This information is recorded in the EXIF data of the image file, which gives improvement in accuracy and less work in post-production. Many passionate photographers have requested these lenses over the years. I believe we can finally deliver the best tilt shift lenses for G-mount to the market. One photographer who has been waiting for these lenses a long time is Serkan Güneş. Hi, Serkan.
Hi, Carl. My name is Serkan Güneş. I'm a landscape photographer. I had 2 dreams in my photography career. The first one was mirrorless medium format camera from Fujifilm. Second one was tilt shift lenses for GFX system. And I am really happy that today both of my dreams came true. I'm especially proud of being the first photographer in the world to try the GF30mm tilt shift lens. I made my first project with the new tilt shift lens on Sandhamn Island of Stockholm archipelago. Here you can see some scenes from the project.
Wow, this is great, Serkan. What's your first impression of this new lens?
I'm really impressed by both image and build quality. It captures great details from corner to corner, and big knobs are easy to work with and will be really helpful when I work with the thick gloves in winter time. And great amount of tilt and shift adjustments make it perfect for landscape photography. I've been working with the other tilt shift lenses and adapters on GFX cameras, but they've been too big and heavy, and I couldn't get the details and resolution the GFX cameras offer.
Okay, do you like it? You seem to love it.
Yes, I really love it. And I'm really looking forward to shoot some new project with the GFTS tilt shift lenses.
Can you tell us why you would recommend tilt shift lenses for landscape photographers?
Because tilt shift lenses will give you the possibility of working with large format technique like tilting and shifting in a medium format system. And tilt shift lenses are for everyone who is serious about their photography and wants to develop as a photographer. And I'm really sure about that the new lens is gonna give me some possibilities, some making great projects, and I'm just looking forward to it.
Today, I'd like to talk about the future as well. I have news about the development roadmap for G-mount lenses. As I mentioned today, GFX now has a new weapon, speed. It is a quantum leap in terms of performance, and it is something that will be of great benefit in all shooting genres, but much anticipated by sports photography and wildlife photography. The first lens of choice for these genres is the telephoto lens. Currently, the G mount has GF100 to 200mm f5.6 and GF250mm f4. In 2024, a new lineup will be added to these telephoto lenses. It is a GF500mm f5.6. This lens will have the longest focal length and largest effective aperture in the G mount. With a speed of 8 frames per second and a detail of 102 megapixels, capturing the world of the Super Telephoto 500mm lens. It is exciting just to imagine it. Don't you think? As mentioned earlier, speed also contributes to the performance of movie. Yes, we need a lens for recording movies for GFX system. It is this one, a standard zoom lens for movie shooting. For that purpose, we are developing the lens control to be fully electronic, which means zooming will be electronic as well as autofocus. Today, we cannot share specifications such as focal length, but it will be a lens to make movie shooting much easier with GFX system. Please stay tuned. The GF55mm f1.7 for portraits and snaps, GF30mm and 110mm tilt shift for commercial and landscape photography, GF500mm for sports photography and wildlife, and finally, GF Power Zoom lens for movie. I am sure that each of them will help produce wonderful images in their respective worlds. Please look forward to the future of the GFX system. So, this is everything we have for you today, but we have not given you any information about the availability yet. The GFX100 II, priced at $7,499, will be available late September. The accessories will be available at the same time. The GF55mm f1.7 will be $2,299 and will be available this month at the same timing as the GFX100 II. The GF30mm f5.6 tilt shift will be $3,999 and will be available in October. The GF110mm f5.6 tilt shift will be $3,499 and will be available in November. And one more thing. Here is the information about the event to enjoy the products announced today. Carl, are you ready for this?
Yes. Let me introduce Fujifilm Stockholm, starting tomorrow afternoon at 5 o'clock here at Fotografiska Stockholm. We have inspirational live talks, product demos, workshops and photo galleries, showcasing the amazing creativity of top photographers and filmmakers. Fujifilm Stockholm is also your chance to try out the latest range of GFX and X-series cameras and lenses, including all the new GFX products we just launched here today. And don't forget to bring your own camera, since we're offering quick maintenance service on all X and GFX cameras and lenses, free of charge. We have already received many reservations, but we still have some tickets left. Reserve your ticket at fujifilm-x.com so that you don't miss out. Vi ses på Fujikina.
Thank you, Carl. Fujifilm Japan members will also be at Fujikina Stockholm. Actually, we will have local events in several countries as described in the summary list. Please check your country at fujifilm-x.com. Thank you, everyone. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.